Charles says, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? That's a great quote. That brings me to another thing that I heard today. You all know Joel Webbon. He's another one of those Christian nationalist preachers, intellectuals. Yeah, I'm going to start calling him an intellectual. I think he does fancy himself an intellectual. Today, I caught a video on Right Wing Watch where they offered a clip of his, and he's talking about Trump, and he's talking about how President Trump really, really needs to become Caesar. For Joel Webbon, he believes that Trump right now, because of the way the courts are going and because of the way people are voting and because of the way lawmakers and governors are passing laws and standing against him, that Trump needs to go full 100% Caesar. He needs to take control. And he's talking about that they need to be thrown, like these judges need to be thrown out of their jobs, and they need to be removed from office, that lawmakers, they need to send in the National Guard and have them arrested and sent to prison, and including for naturalized citizens of the United States who are speaking out against Trump, that they need to be denaturalized and shipped back to their countries. Like, it's full-blown dictatorship, full-blown authoritarianism. It's no longer the United States. What he's asking, what he's proffering, what he's suggesting is to save this land, to save these borders, to save the way he hopes things would be, i.e., that there would be certain people within the community that would be held up and empowered, that certain members of the society would get everything that they want and have everything that they want, where people like him would have power and prestige and status, and everybody else is, well, you're on your own. It's not the United States that the world knows. It's not the United States that the citizens know. It's not the United States that the world knows. What he's suggesting by going full dictator is to suggest that the United States stops being. That the thing that is truly, genuinely unique and special about the United States ceases. That it must be run in a very particular way. Now, the thing for him in his proclamation of Christian nationalism and his desire to bring a Christian nation is, towards the end of the clip, he quotes Napoleon. And he quotes Napoleon, he who saves his country does not violate the law, Webbon says, which again is to say, Trump, you take carte blanche, you do whatever you need to do to save this country. Again, sure, maybe you save Joel Webbon's understanding of the country, or you save the kind of country Joel Webbon wants, but you destroy the United States. No Christian nation can be built on the foundation of that Napoleonic understanding. Napoleon, great general, great strategic mind, also led to the deaths of millions of people in the wars that he fought and in the wars that he started in his conquest and his colonialism. In his desire to save his country, he destroyed his country. In his desire to save his country, he destroyed the lives of countless French families. He destroyed their blooming understanding of democracy. It was all like we hold this fella up and we say, oh well, no, he's not someone to emulate. He is no saint. There's little about what he offers there's little about what he offered as a ruler, as an emperor, that we want to bring into our modern life. But again, I want to stay away from the Napoleon. It's this idea that a Christian, in order to bring about a Christian nation, would seek to apply this quote from Napoleon to give somebody, a particular somebody, absolute power to do whatever they feel like doing, do whatever they think is necessary in order to, quote unquote, save the country, which will, of course, destroy what is good and beautiful about that very country. The quote that Charles here just offered us would be much more poignant. The quote that Charles here offered us would be much more powerful. If you truly want to save your country, as a Christian, if you truly want to save your country, this quote from Romans would be much, much more apt. Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. Oh, imagine teaching that. Imagine teaching that in school. So I'm not trying to get all religious in religion in school here. I'm just saying, imagine teaching that mentality to our kids. Imagine teaching that mentality to our business leaders. Imagine teaching that mentality to everyone. Right? What if we taught Paul's other words, where is it in Galatians, where he says that bearing one another's burdens, there's no law against this. There's nothing, there is no sin in this. There's no guilt found in this. If you are bearing one another's burdens, you are fulfilling the law. If you are carrying one another's burdens, you are fulfilling the law. Let's put that into practice. Let's get that into play. These quotes are much more likely to actually save your country. And they're certainly much more likely to actually bring about a Christian nation. You count on Napoleon's understanding of why he should be emperor. You're counting on Napoleon's understanding of why he should be emperor in order to save what you love. As a Christian, that's just lunacy. Where did Christ ever say such silly things? Where did Christ ever utter the words, "We must save our country"? Just at that. Just stop there. Where? Never. Not ever. Why? Because it was not important. It is not important. I love my country. But to save my country, I would never, ever, ever condone it moving into authoritarianism. I would never be okay with us moving into a dictatorship. I would never be okay with people's freedoms and rights being taken from them. To save my country, to be okay with those things, again, is to give up on my country. Nah. There are better quotes. If you truly want to save your country, if you truly want to save everything that is wonderful and beautiful about your country, there are better lines to offer. There are better things to quote. Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another, for whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. Bear one another's burdens. In bearing one another's burdens, you are fulfilling the law. These are the things. These are things that if we're genuinely interested in making our country even greater than it was, greater than it is, then these are the kinds of lines we should be teaching. This is the attitude we should be teaching. Amen.